What's up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys either like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, y'all, so as gig workers, we go through a lot. There's a lot of different types of jobs that we can get into, and the success of those jobs can be determined based off of the equipment that we have on hand. So today we are going to talk about a list of items that you should have on hand to make your job easier as a gig worker. Now, shout out to Eric. I actually got this comment on one of my recent videos asking me to do a video about the equipment that I use, and I actually do have an older video going over some of the equipment that you should use as a gig worker, but it's kind of outdated. I was already planning on doing an update video, but since someone asked me specifically about the equipment, I figured I would just go ahead and bump that up on the list and take care of that video now so I can go ahead and help you guys out. Now, all of the equipment that I'm going to mention today, I do use these items on a regular, so I'm pretty sure you have seen these items on my videos plenty of times. Now, if you are interested in purchasing any of these items that I'm going to be mentioning today, I do have them all linked below in the description. And just for full transparency, these are Amazon affiliate links, so I do receive a commission when you use these links. But yeah, that's enough talking, so let's go ahead and get into this list. So the first item on this list we're going to discuss is the Wagon. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen me use this Wagon on almost every delivery video. So I use it primarily for catering, and then of course if I have a lot of bags that I have to transport, so for instance if I'm doing Spark and I have a lot of groceries, I'll use the Wagon so I can just take one trip from my car to the doorstep of the customer. So it definitely comes in clutch. It has saved me a lot of headaches and a lot of backaches. The last thing you want to do is have to take multiple trips back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And imagine, especially with catering, some of those bags can get a little heavy. So again, saving yourself a lot of backaches, invest in a Wagon, something that's collapsible like the one that I have. You can just fit it in your back seat or fit it in your trunk. Even if you don't want to get a Wagon per se, you can also get some type of collapsible cart just so you can go ahead and transport the items much easier than just picking everything up by hand and, like I said, taking multiple trips. The next item on this list is going to be a Dolly. Now, you probably haven't seen me use my Dolly too often, but when I needed to use it, it was most definitely a lifesaver. I literally keep this thing in my back seat. Like, just like that. I can just pull it out. It's super compact, it's super convenient, and like I said, this thing has saved me so many times. Now, this Dolly that I have is obviously not super heavy duty, but it does get the job done if you're just delivering out of your everyday vehicle. Now, if you're going to be transporting much larger items, I would definitely recommend getting a more heavy duty Dolly, one that allows you to stand it up and you can lay it down like a flatbed. So pretty much just get whatever you need based off of the types of gigs that you're going to be doing. But again, if you're just going to be doing deliveries out of your everyday car, this would definitely be a good Dolly to have on hand. As you saw, it's collapsible, it's pretty small, and it gets the job done. I used it on a couple of my Jitsu routes. Those packages, they can get a little heavy, so I've used it on that app. I used it on roadie as well. There was one time I had to transport a bike because it was this big, long, awkward box. And one time I had to deliver a car battery. It was super small, but it was so compact and heavy. So again, it's better to have it on hand and not need it instead of running into a situation where you need it and you don't have it. All right, moving on to the next items. These are gonna be your bungee cables, straps, and tarps. Now, this is going to depend on what types of deliveries that you're going to be doing. Now, this Dolly that I have, it actually came with a bungee cable. And that's the bungee cable that I use day in and day out if I need to secure something. But again, depending on what you're going to be transporting, you might need some extra items to assist with the transport. So if you're going to be in a larger vehicle, especially if you're talking about a cargo van or truck, you are probably going to need something to strap down the items. You do not want stuff to just be sliding back and forth. You're making a right turn and it's going this way and doing all of that. You got to go ahead and make sure that everything is strapped down and secure. Now, when it comes to transporting items, sometimes that bungee cable does come in clutch for me when I have a lot of catering bags. Sometimes when you're cutting around those corners, you know, your bag might get caught and you don't want that to fall over and then food gets spilled. So I do use my bungee cable to secure my bags in my wagon, so in the event that I either hit something or maybe I'm going up a slope, that bag is not going to be compromised and it's not going to fall. Now, as far as having tarps, this is going to depend on what you are transporting. Now, you could use a tarp or a blanket or something if you want to cover up the items. Say it's raining really hard and you don't want the stuff to get wet, you can use that during transport. But you can also use those items to protect the interior of your vehicle. So if I'm doing like catering orders or my grocery orders, I'm not really too concerned about that. But for instance, say if you're doing an order where you're delivering dirt or mulch, sometimes those bags have holes in them. I do keep a blanket in my car just in case if I want to lay it out in the trunk or if I want to use it to cover something, but I think I might have used it like once or twice total. I don't really use it that often. But like I said, it does depend on what you're transporting. May not really be necessary for you, but it's still a good idea to have it in your car just in case. All right, moving on to the next items. These are going to be the catering bags. So a lot of people have asked me, where do I get my bags from? What types of bags am I using? What are the sizes? All of that. So the bags that I have two types of bags. So I have 4 bags directly from Delivered. These bags are 22 by 13 by 16. These are my larger bags. Now, I don't know if Delivered is still doing this, but when I first signed up, this was back in 2022. When I first signed up, they allowed people to get free bags after a certain number of deliveries. So my first 2 bags that I got those for free. Now, when I completed, I can't remember, I think it was probably like 25 or 30 deliveries, I got another link from Delivered to get 2 more bags. Now these I did have to pay for, so I did end up getting another set of 2 from Delivered. Those are the gray bags. So like I said, I don't know if they're still doing that program where they're giving you 2 free bags after a certain number of deliveries. I think for me, I had to complete 10. Yeah, I had to complete 10 deliveries in order to get my bags. So if there's any newer folks on Delivery, let me know if they're still doing that. Now, the other bags I got those off of Amazon, and these are 22 by 14 by 13. Now, these bags that I got, again, they are linked in the description below. They do come in various sizes, but the size that I have is considered a 2X. So again, 22 by 14 by 13. That is the 2X size. They do have smaller bags, but I would highly recommend just getting the largest size that they offer. And I think the 2X is the largest that they offer. So it is technically smaller than the Delivered bags, but it still does get the job done. There are some cases where there might be some trays that won't fit in this smaller bag. So I'm usually kind of strategic with how I'm loading up my bags. Usually the bigger items obviously are going to go in my Delivered bags. And if there are bags or just smaller trays, I'll go ahead and save those for my smaller catering bags. Now, to add on top of this, I do have cardboard boxes in my bags. Now, in the beginning, I will admit, I did not use boxes in my bags at all. But I quickly discovered that this actually makes things a lot easier, especially when it comes to transport and just organizing everything and just keeping everything clean. Now, those boxes actually add an extra layer of protection for the food that the catering bags by themselves, they won't do that. It's flimsy material. You can't really expect too much out of it. Now, granted, you could invest in some bags that aren't as flimsy, but this combination, it definitely does the job. So not only does it provide protection from the sides, it also does provide protection when you're stacking your bags. So imagine if you have your catering bags loaded with food and you just stack another bag loaded with food right on top of that. There really isn't a barrier that's protecting this food on top from the food that's below. So what the boxes end up doing, as long as you are not overfilling the boxes, there should still be enough space, and there's additional cardboard at the top. So when you put that other bag on top, The cardboard from below, as long as you left extra space, like I said, it pretty much creates a barrier and that food is protected. You can try your best to keep the heaviest stuff at the bottom, but sometimes it's unavoidable. You're gonna have some heavy stuff in each of your catering bags. So if you're just stacking that on top of each other, that stuff at the bottom is gonna get squished. So like I said, having those boxes in between, it creates that barrier so you're not squishing the food. And I know some of y'all might be wondering, where do you get your boxes from? Where do you get your boxes from? I actually don't buy my boxes. I actually get them from the restaurants that I pick up from. And I don't even ask for them. So if they just happen to load all the food in those boxes, I just take the box with me and I keep the box for another day. Now, eventually you might have to toss that box. I've had a couple times where stuff is spilled and the box gets ruined. So yeah, eventually you will have to toss the box, clean out your bag, and then just get another box, put it in that bag, and you're good to go. Next on this list is going to be items that help you identify yourself as a delivery driver. Whew, that was a mouthful. So these items can include vests, they can include magnets on your car. So depending on the app that you are using, some apps might provide you a vest. So for instance, Amazon Flex, they do provide you a vest that you can use if they have them in stock at the warehouse. Worst case scenario, you could just get a basic reflective vest. You can get that off of Amazon. But having something that identifies yourself as a delivery driver, I honestly feel like this should be a mandatory item that you have. Now, as someone who knows that there are a lot of delivery drivers that deliver out of their car, usually when somebody's coming up to my doorstep with a box, I automatically know that they're delivering something to me, especially when I'm expecting a delivery for that day. But this is more or less for your own safety, of course. You know, depending on where you're going, you know, you might be in an area where somebody doesn't recognize you as a delivery driver. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where a person thinks that they have to defend themselves from you because they don't know who you are. And the same goes with having some type of identifier on your vehicle. I have an Amazon delivery driver magnet that I put on both sides of my vehicle. So when I'm pulling up to somebody's house, they can see this is Amazon delivery. Also, the main reason I got the car magnet for myself is because sometimes Flex would send me downtown. And since there's no parking, if you have to set your vehicle in a spot that you're technically not supposed to park in, having something that says delivery driver on the side of your car might save you from a ticket. Might, not all the time, because you know, some people are just like, well, you can't park here, here's your ticket. You know, that's just the risk that you take when you're parking in a spot you're not supposed to. But I would still say it's a lot better than just having your car out there naked, no identification showing that you are a delivery driver of any sorts. You're more than likely guaranteed to get a ticket if somebody comes across and sees your vehicle double parked or parked where it isn't supposed to be parked. It might save you some tickets. It's not 100% foolproof, but so far when I have had those downtown routes and I've used those stickers, I so far have not gotten a ticket. And I know it does work because I literally got out of the car to drop this package off at this apartment, and there was a guy going up and down the street checking the cars for the parking meter, right? And he walked right past my car, probably because he saw me as well because I had my Amazon vest on. But you know, some people don't care. If the guy was having a bad day, he probably could have wrote me a ticket. But again, still better to have something on out there. You don't want to be out there naked. You don't want to be caught lacking. So have something to identify yourself as a delivery driver. And last but not least, recording devices. Now, I'm not saying everybody go out and buy themselves some type of GoPro or a body cam or whatever it may be, but I will say one thing I definitely recommend everyone gets is a dash cam. At least get yourself a dash cam. And this isn't just for gig work purposes, this is just in general. You never know what might happen on the road. You need to have something to protect yourself. Now, the dash cam that I use, it is a 3-channel dash cam, so it records the front, the interior, and the back. They can get up there in price when you're talking about recording multiple angles, but even if you do decide to just get a dash cam for the front, at least, you know, spend about $100, I would definitely say it is a good investment. Now, as far as the body cam, of course, I'm using a body cam for the purposes of recording for the channel. There have been a lot of cases where some people have said they wish that they had something to record an instance to protect themselves. Now, I'm not telling you to go everywhere and start recording, but if it is something that you do want to do more or less for your protection, you don't got to get a GoPro like I got, because the GoPros, they can get kind of expensive. But there is a cheaper option that is out there. This is actually the camera that I used when I first started the channel. When I first bought it, I think it was like 50 something bucks, so I don't know if it's gone up since then, but you know, you can just clip it on your shirt or however you want to do it. But that's what I was using when I first got into YouTube. So yeah, if you're concerned about protecting yourself and trying to avoid that he say she say type of deal, you know, having something to record is always better than having to, like I said, deal with he say she say. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have for this video. Now, there are some other items that I could mention, but I might save that for another video. It's more or less kind of like different gadgets that you can have on hand. I've also done a video like that in the past. Need to update it as well, so that'll probably be coming soon down the line. But for right now, today I just wanted to go over a few items that you could use as a gig worker that could potentially make your life easier. Yeah, I would love to know what you guys thought about this list. Of course, if you have any other items that you would like to add to this list, let me know in the comments. Now, before I go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, and as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.